stoned ape theory, as in did our distant ancestors eat too many magic mushrooms, causing a gigantic burst in their brain power. Yeah, that's a thing, and I'm going to talk about monkeys getting high and a couple other theories about evolution as well. Strange as that all sounds. But who knows? Might be you might watch this video and change your mind about how you believe we got here. Most of us know who Charles Darwin was, and we're taught his theory of evolution. But when it comes to that spark that set us along our way, there's some interesting thoughts out there. And we might as well have a little bit of fun as we take a look at them. Starting, of course, with the stoned ape theory. And, of course, that theory came from a stoned individual by the name of Charles McKenna, an ethnobotanist, and that's a dude that studies the relationship between humans and plants. And when I say Mr. McKenna was stoned, I mean the dude was into psilocybin. And yeah, I kind of wish I could find some decent mushrooms myself these days. Now, being the stone genius he was, McKenna wrote in a book he published in 1992 called The Food of the Gods that it was magic mushrooms that gave apes an evolutionary advantage that triggered the emergence of language, art, religion, and actually, I guess, human culture in general. Of course, there ain't no real scientist that buys into this, mostly because most scientists these days just ain't into psilocybin. While apes getting the evolutionary urge by ingesting a shitload of magic mushrooms isn't a widely accepted theory today, most of the other theories out there don't get a lot of credit either. But damn, some of them are fun and interesting, and let's move on and talk about them. But they all start with the belief that you and I are descended from apes. And while that's a common perception from people, it wasn't always that way, because before the concept of evolution, and yes, my friends, there was a time when evolution was not a thing. People had a lot of ideas about the nature and the notion of where we came from before old man Darwin came along and got world-renowned with his theory of evolution. One such idea was Lamarckism, introduced by a French naturalist by the name of Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, and it was that an organism could pass on to its offspring something that the organism had learned in its own lifetime. But we all know that can't happen, because otherwise my kids would know as much as I do, but they don't, because I've got experience. Now, one of the most interesting concepts of life here on Earth was introduced way back when, during medieval times. It is known as a great chain of being, a concept that all life is organized into a hierarchy, a strict order and structure for all things, with God at the top, then angels, followed by humans, and then animals, then plants, minerals, being at the bottom of the list. There are some general beliefs, such as the world being static, that nothing ever really changed. No one ever even bothered to think that one species could actually give birth to another new species. This just means that they didn't understand the concept of a common ancestor, like apes. And of course, these are scientific attempts to explain the world around them. And I'd be an idiot if I didn't at least talk about God creating everything. And for those uninformed, that belief is still prevalent today, and often pervasive in illogical terms. And I'll leave you to figure out what I mean by that. In fact, most religions in Darwin's day reacted by simply opposing them from the pulpit, just like a couple of them still do today, in 2025. Mixed in with these creationists, and I can mix them in, because this is my video, is the ancient astronaut theory. You know, the one with aliens. There's also the multi-regional evolutionary theory, and this is a theory that humans evolved in different parts of the world from different populations. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't mention that we all might be descended from some lost civilization, and it very well might be that somebody might dig up a missing link that changes everything about how we all think we got here. Personally, I give a lot of credit to the alien hypothesis because, well, I'm just a little bit alien myself. Maybe. Might be. Okay, you do have to admit, that's a pretty damn interesting theory about apes tripping out on a little bit of psilocybin, stirring that creativity into overdrive. That is interesting, though. Maybe that is how it happened. I don't know. What the hell? Mm. Yeah, and something else is outside the theory of evolution, I have never, ever, ever given any kind of thought whatsoever as to what people thought about evolution or about the history or how we got here or how all these, whatever. Before that theory of evolution, I never thought about it. I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. But yeah, I don't know. I just, think it's funny that stone baked, and I think maybe I haven't done mushrooms in like 40 years, man. Yeah. Cheers. I don't know, smoke.